back with Taste of Asia at Home, and today is just a couple of days after that superstorm that went through the Northeast, and we were affected by that also, but the cleanup's done, and we're just hoping and praying for all those people in the Northeast that have sustained some pretty severe damages up there. But when we got back in town, I have a roast chicken here that we're going to prepare today. So I'm going to refocus the camera and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this chopping board, and you'll see that I was able to pick up a chicken that was on sale at Food Lion. It was 99 cents a pound, so I always stress economizing and, you know, picking up things that are on sale and working with them. So that's why I figured I would do this recipe for a Chinese roast chicken. So we're going to get started. First, what I'm going to do is we're going to prepare the rub that goes inside the chicken. And before we get started, I wanted to show you something also that I've had a lot of responses on the videos for seasoning a wok and also sharpening the knives, and I had a lot of questions about them. And this right here is one of the knives that I was selling in those the Chinese cooking sets that I was offering before, which I've had to discontinue. But anyway, this is one of the knives, the cleavers, and it's by Town Food Service. The stock number is 47374. And I think you can pick these up for like under $20, and you'll notice on here it says not for bones. And the reason why I thought I'd go over this again is because we're going to chop this chicken, and the chicken has bones, and you can see this is a newer knife, and this is a knife that has like a year or maybe even 2 or 3 years use on it, and you can see this one's a lot of the steel has worn away, and as it goes down here it gets thicker, and I use this one for chopping the bones on the chicken. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there are like little nicks in the back here, and that's from chopping harder bones such as the back ribs or spare ribs. But you know, you keep one knife especially for this, and if it gets a few nicks in it, it doesn't matter because you're only using this knife to chop bones. Okay, let's get started. You'll see on this plate here, this is what we're going to put on the rub for the chicken. I have a heaping tablespoon of salt, but this is a large chicken. This is a 7-pound chicken, and this is going inside of the chicken. So what's going to happen, a chicken that size, you're going to roast it for 2 to 2.5 hours, and every maybe 15 or 20 minutes you'll baste it with a mixture of thin soy sauce and honey to give it a nice brown crisp on the skin. Okay, so we have a heaping tablespoon of salt. I have a half a teaspoon of 5-spice powder, and you'll see I have 2 large cloves of garlic. And these are like this Chinese name for this is fa jiu. I had some of this laying in my seasoning bag. You can pick these up at the Asian store. It's like a peppercorn. And then here we have the dried ginger, which is very strong. And I'll show you how to prepare this. We're going to take the butt of your knife, and we're going to smash it. Sometimes you can you see what I'm doing? You can hold your hand around so it doesn't splatter on you and go all over the place. Okay, when you have that powdered up, you're going to take the side of your knife and just tap on the garlic, and that'll loosen the skin. You don't want to hit it too hard, or you'll mess it up. Now that you've got the skin off, you take the side and you take the heel of your hand and smash it. And what you're going to do is you're going to mince this all together. the garlic real fine, and it's going to mix with your dry ginger. Okay. Put that in your bowl, the little saucer I have here. And then all the remaining stuff gets put in. And you can mix it together. You're going to rub this inside the cavity of the chicken. And then we can also cut up a little scallions to go in there also. Okay, we'll push this aside. These Purdue chickens, they have a pop-up timer on them, but you can go by the timetable, 20 minutes per pound. And what you want to do is you want to fold the wing tips behind the chicken like that. Be sure the chicken is dry. Drain any water out. And then you take the dry rub first. Be sure you cover all the cavity of the inside cavity of that chicken. And after that, you take the whole handful of the green onion and also stuff it in there. What's going to happen when this chicken roasts? You're going to put a little bit of water in this pan that I have a rack over it. And so I can grab this chicken like this with the two drumsticks. Whoops, sorry. And sit it right here. And you're going to put maybe a half an inch of water in the pan. And as you roast it, the juices from the chicken are going to go down into this pan. And also, when you're done cooking the chicken, you will take this chicken like this and drain whatever juice is inside. All that flavor from the seasoning that we put in there is going to mesh with the pan drippings, and it'll provide a really nice juice to pan over the chicken. So what we're going to do is we're going to roast it, and then maybe half of the time we're going to turn it over and keep basting it. Maybe halfway through the time we'll turn it over. And we'll go through that procedure, and then after that I'll show you how to chop this chicken and display it on a platter. That'll be the last step. Okay, everybody, I'm back for a few seconds. I wanted to show you this. I have the chicken on the pan with the rack. I put a little bit of water, about 8 ounces of water, in the bottom of the pan. This mixture I have here is 2 tablespoons of thin soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of honey. And I mix it together, and what we're going to do is just kind of like paint it. The skin of the chicken. And then we will do this again. You can always set that chicken, if that pan rack slides off, you can always readjust that. But we're going to put a little bit on the chicken now, just to coat the skin. We'll turn him over. I'll set the rack back where it belongs, and it's ready to go in the oven. You'll preheat the oven to 350 It's going to take 2 to 2.5 hours. So after 1 hour, we'll turn the chicken over. We'll start it the other side over, and then for the last hour, we'll keep it up, right side up like it is now, and baste it every time that we turn it over. And you'll get the hang of that when you can see how dark the skin is getting. Okay, that'll be part 2. Okay, we just took the chicken out of the oven. Now that's your finished product, and I'm going to show you now how we're going to transfer this over. You can take 2 forks like this, insert them into the chicken, and then hold it and drain the juice out. You can also take and scrape the inside of the chicken out, so you get all the flavor of all the stuff, all the dry rub and the garlic and the ginger, everything you put inside the chicken. Then we'll just lift it, and we'll put it on the plate, and we'll let it cool. You can remove the rack now, and you have all this juice that you'll strain out. You can skim the fat off of this juice, and you can taste it for the seasoning. And that's the chicken we're going to chop up, and this is the juice that we're going to ladle over the chicken. Hey everybody, we're back for the final chopping of this chicken, and I got my Raven's lucky apron on, so let's get started. Okay, I have the camera refocused back on the cutting board, and there are a lot of different ways to chop a chicken, but the way I'm going to show you is we're going to arrange it so we have the chicken, once it's put back together, like it'll look like a chicken. So I'm going to disjoint the leg and thigh portion, and you're going to get some juice dripping on your cutting board. And when you're cutting the chicken, what you want to do is you want to try and push that off in the sink so you'll have less splatter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to debone the breast portion, and then the parts that I'm going to chop are going to be the leg and the thigh. And the chicken itself took 2.5 hours. So you just split it down here, and you can remove the breast, both breasts. And the carcass of the chicken we're going to use that as a base to lay the rest of the chicken on. So what we can do is here, we'll just split it right down here, and you'll have the back. This back portion, I'm going to chop it. Watch. When you chop a chicken or anything, you make a decisive cut so you go through to the cutting board. See? Just like that. I'm going to put this on the platter first, and then I'm going to arrange the rest of the chicken around it. Put those, and here we have the leg and the thigh. You start at the back. Just like that. And I scoop that up, and I'll put that on the platter. Let me show you how I have it so far. That's one leg portion. This way you have a little bit less mess, because you know the white meat is all boneless, and you can slice that. I'm using about a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch thick slices. See that? That goes on one side. Side. Now you just disjoint the wings. Let me show you what I have. So what you're going to do is you're going to put one wing here, one wing here, just like that. The only part we didn't use was this part of the breast, and I'm going to pull some of that off and give it to the puppies. So everybody will be happy tonight. And I have a little bit of julienne green onions to garnish it. And this right here is the pan drippings, and we ladle that over it. And there you have a beautiful dish. This is really good at, this will feed like 6 to 8 people, I would say, if you have another dish with vegetables to go with it. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Chinese roast chicken, and I hope you try it out, because the chicken is nice and moist and tender, and the sauce is very good ladled over the white rice. And once again, thanks for watching.